welcome to the Jubilee Street YouTube channel inaugural edition.
Seminole edition.
This is a seminal edition of this podcast. No, it's not a podcast. We're so used to our other shit, our other dumbass job. This job, we're going to be talking about new music. Today, we're going to talk about the new Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar song, Family Ties.
Now, if you were brought here from the podcast, which was originally branded as Jubilee Street, a Nick Cave podcast, and you're like, what? Who's Baby Keem? Is that Nick's new baby? No, Baby Keem is a rapper, and he is getting pretty big these days. I feel like last song I heard from him was a song called Mosh Pit, and then Do Rag Activity was the single he put out before this one. So we're pivoting a bit on the podcast, so if you're here for Nick Cave stuff, we would recommend you stick around and try to check out something new. Or if you just want Nick Cave stuff, we will have more of that in the future on the podcast channel, and we'll probably do some videos for the B-sides and rarities, or maybe for the Jubies later in the year. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about Family Ties. So Ian, why don't you bring it in?
So I think this is the first thing Kendrick's done. So he did a song with Busta Rhymes earlier this year. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I think this is the first thing he's done since 2018.
Well, he launched that PG Lang thing, right?
Yeah, it's
with Dave Free.
I don't even know if anyone knows what it is yet. But Kendrick Lamar is probably my favorite rapper of all time.
Uh-huh.
So I was fucking hyped that he's putting out a new song. And the music video is almost as cool as the song. I mean, there's so many cool things about it. All the images going stacking on top of each other, the lighting. Mm-hmm. I love at the end when Baby Keem and Kendrick are going back and forth, but
and he's on the screen.
On the screen.
Yeah, the video's cool.
And then he turns off when Baby Keem starts, and it goes back and forth. It's an awesome video.
So we weren't sure before we started recording this, but I looked it up, and it actually Baby Keem and Kendrick are cousins.
Oh.
So that's why it's called Family Ties.
Oh, I didn't know. I mean, they rap very similar. Like Baby Keem's got a lot of Kendrick's little tendencies in his flow.
Yeah.
Even the way he pronounces words, but maybe it's like an accent, like the Compton kind of thing. I don't know.
It could be something like that, and also I think both of them are just known for being. Oh,
lost my glasses.
He lost his glasses for a second.
Put it on the blooper reel.
Baby Keem has that same kind of playfulness, vocally, that Kendrick does, because Kendrick does that brother, he does that kind of southern-ish accent at the end there, kind of skewing I don't know, it just reminds me of people that we worked with back in the day who'd always be like, hey brother, how you doing? Like those white hippie guys.
He's a man of a million voices.
Yeah.
He's got that drunk voice he does on Butterfly. Mm-hmm. He's got, sometimes he does I think on Good Kid Mad City, he does kind of a woman's voice, he goes back and forth two characters. He does so many voices, and then he busted out this new Southern Kendrick, which is some Kentucky boys. We love that.
Yeah. Brother. Initial reaction to the song was probably the best Baby Keem song thus far, I've heard, and I haven't listened to all of his music, but I liked this one. I really liked Do Rag Activity before this, but that song's much more straightforward, whereas I think that he and Kendrick clearly really worked hard on this one, because the video is super different. They have the ballerinas, which immediately reminded me of
Kanye Lollapalooza,
and then the short movie he did for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
The Runaway, is that what it was?
Runaway, yeah. So, and then whenever I think of that, I always think of that bird person in that video. Shout out Bird Person from Rick and Morty.
This song was all about, if we can get some graphics up here, production value. No, wait, production value. The beats are awesome.
Let's do it one more time. Production value.
You know what? To get Ian McCurtis to like a hip hop song, you just gotta throw in a beat switch. I think this song has 2 beat switches.
He loves beat switches.
On a one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite shit. Kendrick does it all the time. Tyler, the Creator. I love a beat switch.
Well, it reminds me of how skits used to break up albums back in the day, and how you would have 2 or 3 songs, and there'd be a skit about and I think that this reminded me a lot too of that new Tyler the Creator record, which I think was really pretty inventive and kind of did what had been done before but made it fresh. And he has all the DJ drama, like shout outs and, you know, plugs and stuff like that on there. But it also has like that, like one sample from his mom talking about like beating up that kid or whatever, or like threatening to beat up a kid for messing with Tyler. The beat switch works really well like that because you get like a completely different mood change.
Especially throwing in the beat switch right when Kendrick comes in. Like, here comes the feature and a beat switch. And Kendrick's back. He's pissed off. He's talking about sitting out the COVID, sitting out Black Lives Matter. It's all kinds of biblical shit. I mean, it reminds me right before he put out To Pimp a Butterfly, I think he did that feature on that Drake song. And he was just going in. He was pissed off.
Yeah.
This reminds me of this. Like, he's about to put out something new. He's putting the rap game on blast. I think it's going to be awesome.
It's crazy to think that Kendrick is now, like, been around for, I guess, including Section 80, he's probably been doing this for, like...
Over 10 years, right?
At least...
Probably since 2010?
12, or maybe even more than that before he got, you know, he started putting out, like, projects. But, man, it was pretty exciting, and then he posted a link on his Instagram, like, a couple days before this, I believe. So
it was going to be his last striker with Top Dog?
Yeah, and then I was worried because I was like, well, is he just gonna stop making music after this? Because you have to think, like, when you put out every record he's put out has been critically acclaimed and like universally loved. I don't know anybody that dislikes any of those records, and if they do, they usually just haven't listened to them. They're just, you know, they just haven't heard them.
Yeah, if you
like, or they're
hip-hop,
not into rap.
If you like hip hop, you like Kendrick.
Yeah, and there's not. I'm of the opinion that, and I know this is about Baby Keem too, so we'll not focus too much, but we both have a lot of stake in like how much we've listened to Kendrick's music. I didn't care for Damn as much as a lot of people seem to, and even on like listens, like further listens of it, I still found that I didn't it didn't strike me as much as like I felt To Pimp a Butterfly was just more my style, and maybe it's because I like jazz. So much jazz.
Big jazz boy. Big
jazz.
JB.
Big J, BJ.
BJB.
But I don't know, like, what do you... We'll pivot back to the song, but where do you think Kendrick's going?
I remember seeing rumors like a year ago that he was about to put something out and it was going to be like rock-oriented.
Oh, yeah.
Which...
I don't know if I'd be into that.
You know, Lil Wayne tried that. A lot of people have tried that and it doesn't usually work.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Kendrick has my complete trust to do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it's going to be different.
It's hard to avoid it.
I'm sure it's going to be different. I have all the faith in the world he's going to pull it off. I have no idea what it's going to be.
Yeah, so what are your first impressions about Baby Keem?
This was the first time I ever heard him. I really liked... His flow was all like Kendrick, but his voice is different.
He's got such a nasally, like...
Yeah, kind of like... You know, Ghostface has that New York accent, but Ghostface has that nasally voice too. So it kind of reminded me of like Ghostface and Kendrick.
Yeah,
in a blender.
Melding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we listened to some other songs. I thought he's awesome. His music videos remind me a lot of Tyler, the Creator. He's very like a big eye for aesthetics.
Yeah, he seems to have a big picture mentality.
Very artsy, kind of like Pusha T, where he's like, his rapping is like street level, but his like vibe is artsy.
Yeah.
And I love that about Pusha T.
Yeah, and it's funny that like Pusha T, his subject matter is pretty like reined in at this point. Like he's usually rapping about like what he's done in the past and
5-star dinners.
5-star dinners, which who doesn't like hearing about 5-star dinners?
5 stars, dishes, different exotic fishes.
We're talking cab. We're talking lobster.
Lobster.
You know, salami rolls. You know, all that kind of good stuff.
Sashimi.
So, horse meat. You know.
A big old can of horse meat. That's what I eat after hearing this song.
I'm pretty hungry. I'm gonna eat a can after work. But I first heard about Baby Keem from that. He has a song called Stats, and I had it on in the car, probably like 2018, and it came on like a Discover Weekly, and I was like, oh man, this is really. It felt very punk energy for like hip hop, and we had a conversation back in like 2016 or 2017 where I told you basically that pop music and like modern rap and hip hop music is like punk music now, with artists back then, like, you know, like Blood Orange, Anoni, but now you got like Kendrick Lamar, like everybody, like in an age where everybody's gonna start talking about Black Lives Matter and like privilege and stuff in art, like it's no, like people no longer can really, you can't really afford to not take a stand without people thinking that you don't care. And that's another sort of thing that I think is interesting to bring up, because you mentioned Kendrick takes a stance on like Black Lives Matter in this song.
What I say is like I've been ducking the social gimmicks.
Yeah, and I think that I'm willing to say this, and I know YouTube's kind of a big platform, so, and who knows how many people are going to listen to this, but like I think we had a little cut there we had to do. So basically I was kind of just leaning into talking about like cancel culture, and I think everybody's at a point where they're kind of exhausted with like, you know, and obviously I'm a white dude, you know, I grew up privileged, so like how much my stance matters is like, you know, you can take this with a grain of salt, you can, you know, you can hate it, you know.
People are just done with performative shit.
And I don't think that...
And if it pisses us off, imagine how much it pisses Kendrick off.
So, like...
If it pisses us off as white men, imagine how much it pisses off black.
Like, just, you know, the grandstanding and shit, it's like, you know, we don't need to see a bunch of celebrities singing, you know, like, what was
John
that?
Lennon, Imagine?
Yeah, like, we don't need that. Just donate your money or make something that's going to help people or make people happy, like, and I applaud people, like, there's going to be people that are, like, expecting artists to, like, be the ones to talk about these things, and I think that there's plenty of people already thinking about it, and I think if you live the experience that's being talked about, it's like, no, I'm going to make my art, I'm going to make what's, like, genuine to me, and I'm not going to compromise for anyone else, and I think that both of us can appreciate the mentality of wanting to just make what you want to make. So, without focusing too much on that, what do you want to move on to next?
I think that's about it. I mean, I'm just stoked for new Kendrick. I'm sure we'll be talking about it. I think he's going to drop something soon.
A couple interesting things about Baby Keem, like, stylistically, is a lot of his recent singles have all been, like, you know, color hues and tones like you would get at like a Home Depot when you're trying to paint your living room or something.
I love that shit. Yeah, color palettes.
And it's like kind of like goes from like gray to cream to brown. And I'm curious like how when because he's definitely going to drop an album. I feel like he's at a point where there's a lot of buzz about him. A lot of people are talking about him, and he's interesting. Like as far as like young guys like, you know, in that scene of music, like him and Young Boy Never Broke Again are both like Young Boy doing that song with Tyler on that new record, What's Your Name? Like, complete style change, but he kills it. And he has a song called Nevada, and when you listen to that and some of the other Young Boy NBA songs, like, those are unique. There's not a lot of people in rap music making
like
stuff like that.
New.
It's melodic, and I think that people were kind of getting, like, Young Thug and Gunna were kind of doing that to death, and I think they're bringing it back in a fresh way. So, if Kendrick wants to do some rock and roll, I'm right there with him. You know, if
Kendrick wants to make a hyperpop record with 100 gecs.
Who cares?
I'm right there with him.
Yeah, let's pitch shift his vocals up and just make it like a little pixie like.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? You know, let's end this out. Baby Keem, Kendrick on one track. Who do you add on there? Who would you like to see them? If they both did another song together with another feature, who would you like to see?
If I was gonna get a third on there.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a rapper. It can be someone completely different.
I mean, what I've been waiting for a while, I think it's going to come eventually. Maybe on this Black Panther 2 soundtrack if Kendrick does it. Tierra Whack and Kendrick together.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's what... It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
What if Tierra Whack gets cast in the movie?
That'd be dope.
Yeah. I could see her being a good actor. Her videos are always really great. But, I guess to wrap it up, this was Family Ties by Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar.
K-Dot, a.k.a. Kung Fu Kenny.
Hey, there you go. And it's the world premiere.
A.k.a. K. Lamar.
And this was Jubilee Street, a music video, which is a subsidiary of Jubilee Street, a music podcast, and Ian McCurtis Corporation. You can check us out on @JubileeStreetPod on Instagram. You can check us out on JubileeStreet@gmail.com. Email us. We might read your questions live on the videos. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. If you hated it or you loved it, regardless, you can comment, you can message us,
I don't give a shit.
share the video. We're having fun talking about music that we love, and we want you guys to, check out. So check out the song. Just, Google it, dog. Bye, everybody.